The presence of their troops has aroused vigorous debate among the British public ever since UK forces went into Afghanistan in 2001, joining US and other NATO forces in the hunt for Osama bin Laden. Tony Benn, a former MP and Labour government minister, has opposed British involvement from the start. He says the time is right for talks rather than fighting.
So quite apart from the morality of it, it is an unwinnable war. And I think what's got to happen now is there have got to be direct negotiations with the Taliban and with the Al-Qaeda, just in exactly the same way as we negotiated with the IRA, or in South Africa, Vorster had to negotiate with Mandela. And I think that is the only way you're going to bring peace.
The naming of the dead ceremony included Afghans who have died, as well as British servicemen and women.
The 204th soldier was killed in Afghanistan, and the toll last month was almost the greatest of any month that we've had since they've been in Afghanistan. And now we've had about 8 deaths just in the last week or so again, it now exceeds that of Iraq, and it's about time the troops were brought home. It's enough, and I think the British public have had enough.
Senior Aircraftman Ben Ford, aged 18. Private Christopher Bridge, aged 20. Private Aaron McClure, aged 19. Private Robert Foster, aged 19. Captain John Thrumble, aged 21.
Last week, British helicopters and their crews who had been serving in Iraq returned home. Their next tour of duty will be in Afghanistan. The UK Secretary of State for Defence, Bob Ainsworth, described their past and future role as making a vital contribution to democracy.
We're there because a NATO ally was attacked by an organisation aligned to the then government. Al-Qaeda, an organisation pledged to the destruction of our values and our way of life, an organisation that knows that while we're technologically and militarily superior, they think that we are a weak and degenerate society. They think that we lack staying power, and therefore they think that we can be defeated. We can't allow NATO to fail, for our vital security would be at risk back here in the United Kingdom if we did. And we can't allow Al-Qaeda and their Taliban allies to succeed, or they will be a threat to our values and to our individual freedom back here and our way of life.
Those who have criticised UK government policy in Britain make a definite distinction between urging for a withdrawal and continuing to support British troops.
We're sending young men as young as 18 out onto the front line, and many of them are not coming back. Those that are coming back are terribly maimed and very often have had limbs lost, but quite traumatised as well. And I think the military families have felt very isolated, and they're very proud of their relatives who are serving, as we are, but they need a voice, and this is a way of finding a voice.
The naming of the dead ceremony is planned to be repeated in towns and cities across Britain, according to the campaign group. At the same time, the debate about the presence of British troops is set to continue as Afghanistan prepares for elections later this week.